AI agents made simple. Everything you need to know with Duan Lightfoot. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to V Brown Bag, where we talk about cloud, DevOps, infrastructure, and all things tech. My name is Chris Williams, and with me, as always, we've got Damien and Shala. And tonight, we have an old friend of the show, AWS AI engineer, genius extraordinaire, super nice guy, Duan Lightfoot. Duan, welcome back to the show. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, Chris, Shala, Damien, Roger, everybody? Thank you all, and to the community. Hello.
I love that right before we went live, you were like, bring your popcorn, hold on to your hats, because we're going to be having some amazing times tonight. I was telling everybody that from the last episode that you were on back in November, we still are getting like thank yous from the audience and from the community. Folks are saying, dude, that thing was lit. It was amazing. I learned so much. When are you getting Duan back on the show again? So here we are, only 3 months away from December to February. So welcome back.
Yeah. Thank you for having me back. I hope I don't. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. There's just so many things that happen. So I'm just Thank you.
so we were actually kind of talking a little bit before the show this week that last week our episode was called like "This Is Not Fine," and it was all about like surviving technology in the age of AI.
Yeah,
and you know it was a bit real. My mom texted me. She's like, "This is a downer," and I'm like, just being honest, Mom. I like texted back the I'm tired boss meme, and she's like, I haven't seen that movie, and I'm like, oh I'm sorry.
Yeah,
but yeah, and so we were joking like we're gonna go from that to Duan, like just
well, maybe it's a good segue because like if you with everything that's going on in the industry, right? There's a lot of different factors, AI being one of them.
Yeah,
and we're all kind of getting pressure to learn it. Right. So hopefully, from this episode, people have a better understanding of agents, what they can do, what they can't do, and maybe they can apply it to what they do in their job or their lives. And that's what it's all about to me, is just continuous learning.
Yeah. And I will say that for folks who may not have seen Duan before, he's not going to be one of those people that's like just like drank too much of Sam Altman's Kool-Aid, right? Like he's going to talk about how to realistically use AI and how to help improve your workflows, not tell you how it's going to replace all of our white collar jobs, right? Like,
but it is an interesting thing, right? Because if you look at where we are right now with AI, I see a lot more directors and CEOs vibe coding, right?
Oh yeah.
That's an interesting thing. Like to me, it's kind of weird. Like I was on a call with a CEO, a great guy, and he was vibe coding a feature that he wanted to add to his product. He had a startup, and he had a fairly large company, but to see him do it, it just put me in a different mindset, right, of where we are.
Yeah.
So I have two questions that I want to ask about that statement. The first one is, did he have the LLM like review the entire code base and like say write code in the same format and functionality as the rest of it, or was he like a true pure vibe coder and said, hey, I want to make a feature that makes the red button blue, and then how did he go about it? Because when somebody says something like that to me, the hairs on my back stand on end, and I just get all kind of, I don't get prickly because I'm like worried about it coming from my job. I get prickly about it because I know about all the security things that can come from somebody just jamming in something with API keys into the public GitHub repo. So what happens when, and I don't want to take away from the show, but and if that goes completely off the rails, we can just segue.
No, it's good. Yeah, so there's a couple ways to look at this, right? One, the aspect coming from someone that does infrastructure, you, Damien, Shala, Chris, you all are have that type of background. But I think in the day that we live in now, it's more important to ship, right? Security, I think even in software in general has for AWS, of course, like is day one, like it's the first thing. Is security is top of mind for everything we do. But for like the startup or someone that has an idea, like what they care about is bringing that idea to life, right? It's not necessarily this is being scaled out to hundreds of thousands of users, but here's my idea. Now, once we get the idea fleshed out, maybe we start to get funding, maybe we start presenting it to the teams. Now we can flesh out the details of implementing security or whatever, right?
Okay.
Right.
So I think that's one way to look at it. The other piece of it is he's a founder, and there's many founders that sometimes they don't know how to say what they want in a feature, but AI allows them to experiment and build that feature, right? They may not know how to code, but at least you can get a demo. Hey, this is what I want, and then take it to the smart people that know that particular area. Then they can go build it, right?
Right.
So that's one approach. I was just at a conference in San Francisco last week, and I was speaking to a guy, and we just started talking about agents. Well, he's in real estate, and he's already built like 2 apps. Him and his family and friends are using. Has no technical background, and so he was saying how he has an idea to build an app. And I was like, well, there's 2 free books here I think you should read from this conference. They're just on that table over there. If you get these books, you can read them on a flight. They're like super helpful. Like one of the book, there's a second edition of this, The Principles of Building AI Agents. My camera is reversed. I get that, but this is it. It's like
it's okay. I've been drinking. I can read it.
Yeah. But I told him about that book and the other book that was available. So he reached out to me on LinkedIn and said, hey, I read both of those books, and like it completely like opened my mind. And now I have at least an 80% understanding of what I need to build when it comes to agents, right? So I think when you're somebody that wants to build and you're creative and you are, I would say, have a founder mindset or a entrepreneurial mindset, like AI is kind of it puts you on another level, I think.
It's a huge enabler.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, you actually just gave a great segue, and I know that you've probably got a ton of information that you want to share. So, do we want to just like get right into it? Do we want to go right into the presentation?
Yeah. We can just start looking at slides and kind of going through it.
Okay.
Let me flip. Oh, why is that not working now? Oh no. Talking head mode, demo mode.
Because we're live.
That's why. That's exactly why. Oh, here we go. Oh no. Oh yeah, Damien, you have to.
What did I do?
There we go.
Okay.
What I do?
So I shared this last week, or last time I was here, but I think it's important that we kind of level set when it comes to agents. In the middle, you have this brain. That's a LLM, often a reasoning, like capable LLM, one that can do tool calling. You can kind of do this with a smaller LLM that's not as capable, but the ones that have the ability to think and call different tools or make function calls, that's what needs to be in the middle here. And so this agent brain, because it can make tool calls, now you can give it, let's say, Python functions that can go out and look up the weather, look at the date, the calendar, or whatever. Now that's great. So the agent can do this. The challenge comes, let's say, at scale. Let's say you have 1,000 users or 100 users or 10,000 users that need to use this agent. Well, that means you need to have different sessions, and those sessions need to have a state. So this is where memory comes in, where you have a short-term memory where the context is maintained for that state, right? And now let's say you're building a fitness app or some other type of app where the agent needs to remember your name. It needs to remember the type of foods you like. It needs to remember different workouts that you have. Well, that's going to be long-term memory in your agent. Those are 2 separate memories. The short-term is like any type of browser session, right? I think it went away, but I'll let you all fix that, but I'll keep going. The short-term memory is going to be like your browser session or your login session. That'll be the short-term memory. The long-term memory is, like I mentioned, it's going to be the food you like, the workout plans, and all the good stuff. Now you give your agent the ability to look up tools. Now I can go out and look up different recipes. It can look up different workouts. It can add this to your calendar. It can do all of these things for you. So if you think of OpenClaw and what's been so big about OpenClaw is that what it's done is before this agent, a developer need to build, right? You can use Claude, you can use OpenAI, but you're kind of stuck in that box in the capabilities that they give you. OpenClaw or CloudBot, MoteBot, what happens is, and I'll share my screen again, with OpenClaw or CloudBot, what happens is now this agent comes closer to the consumer. The consumer can now access this agent in Telegram, Discord, iMessage, wherever to say, hey, let's talk about my workout plan. Now the agent can use the tools to check your calendar, to see what workouts you've done today. It can remember the different foods that you like and all of these things, and it's closer to the user. That's like the most powerful thing about OpenClaw, right? Is that it's taking agents, and to me, it's been like a Chat GPT moment. Chat GPT, generative AI was around before 2022, right? People were already using generative models. I think GPT-2 was a model that was out before, and people were able to generate text. But once they had an interface with Chat GPT, now everybody can actually access and experience generative AI, right? And so OpenClaw, now the interface is closer to the user and they can actually experience these agents. Kind of continuing on, when you're building an agent, there's something inside an agent called an agent loop or event loop, right? The agent needs to take in your prompt, and then the agent needs to invoke the model. This is software, right? This is a system. So when we think about jobs and we think about these agents that are running wild, every agent that is out there is a system, right? That needs to be maintained. Now, these agents are kind of designed these days that to be kind of ephemeral. An agent can spin up another agent, call that a sub agent, right? So in the same runtime, the agent can say, hey, I need to perform several tasks. It's a heavy workload for myself, but I do have these tools that are sub agents where I can give them a system prompt, I can give them tools, and they can go off and do the job with their own context and just give me the output. And then I can process it and move on, right? But that is a system that has to be designed. And so the prompt comes into the agent. This system invokes the model. This model does the tool call to determine what tools need to be called. Now it comes back into the system. The system invokes the tools, right? And I'll show you this in code here in a moment. But the system invokes the tools, takes the results, sends it back to the model. The model reasons, makes another decision on if it has everything it needs to generate a response or if it needs to make an additional tool call. Once it has everything it needs, it says, okay, now I can generate a result. And that's the agent loop. So when you think of LangGraph, Crew AI, Strands agents, and all of these different frameworks, what they do is take that system and make it easy so you, the developer, don't have to manage this loop yourself. I'll pause here. Any questions?
So I've been playing a lot with Langflow recently, and this almost feels like the prompt result input and outputs of Langflow. Is it similar to that, or am I completely off base?
It could be. I haven't really used Langflow, but what I think about Langflow is GUI based, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Langflow, what happens is an input comes in, and then you put. I would assume that you take and add connectors to like LLM
Right.
or different.
Yeah. You add it to your LLM. Yeah. Exactly.
Right. So what happens with Langflow is you're basically creating a flow. A pipeline says, okay, here's start and here's end. And then you build out everything in between.
Cool.
Am I correct? Is that how you build it out?
I mean, I just started playing with it a couple days ago, and that seems to be the way it's been working. So yeah.
Right. So that is more, I would say, declarative, more you're designing what needs to happen. You, the developer, are saying, okay, from start to end, this is exactly what needs to happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When it comes to an agent, or we start talking about OpenClaw or an autonomous agent, they have more freedom to make a decision on how they get to that end result, right? I'll show you here in a moment, but I think I'll go straight to the slide because this is important.
Can you reshare your screen? For some reason it keeps getting kicked off. I'm not sure why.
It wants me to go to the code. It's like, hey, get off these slides and let's go to the code. All right, when it comes to an agent, the mindset that I have is that an agent only needs two tools. It needs an editor to be able to read files and write files, right? If an editor can read files, it can write files. So let's say you give it a prompt, say write a script that goes through and analyze this thousands of documents and give me a result. It can write the code for it. It can read those documents to write the code, and it can save it, right? Now, how does it execute that code? That's where the shell comes in. So if you have these two tools for an agent, the agent itself can now write code, read files, and use a shell. So it reads the files, writes the code, runs the code in the shell. So what can you do with Python scripts? Well, you can do everything, right? You can access APIs, you can look up the weather, you could do pretty much anything you want to do. And if you have a shell, now you have control of the system, right? So my mindset of when it comes to building agents is that they only really need two tools. Now, I'm going to show you a quick demo. We'll actually look at this in real time. But here, we're going to import an agent. We're going to use Amazon Bedrock model. And then we'll give it two tools, an editor and a shell, right? And so as we give the editor and the shell, I just give it a system prompt. These are instructions to control the behavior, and it can understand about itself and the actions it should take, right? So it's a helpful assistant that can write code and run shell commands. It has two tools, an editor and a shell. And it said, for example, if you need to get the date and time, write Python code to get the date and time. If you need to get information on the web, use the shell and the internet to get the information you need. Now, the key to this is that I am giving it control of my system. We do need guardrails, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. But now I have my agent, and I instantiate the agent with the editor and shell, and I give it my system prompt. This is where that agent loop comes in, because all of that is being handled by this agent. So if I run the code, we're going to watch what happens. You'll see the agent immediately thinks about what needs to happen. I'll help you get the weather for San Jose, California. Let me write a Python script. Now, this is the destructive action, so I had to approve it, human in the loop, right? So I go through and approve the agent. The agent thinks about what it needs to do, and it built its own tool to go out and take it and solve the problem. That's OpenClaw.
And you didn't tell it what website to use or what API reference to call. It just had that information and knew and went out and wrote a little Python script to pull the weather.
Right. So this is where a more capable model comes in, right? The large language model. Under the hood, this is Sonnet 4, right? Cloud Sonnet 4. This is a large language model that's more capable. Now, as you immediately realize, like, hey, you didn't give it no instructions on what to write. You didn't tell it no APIs. It has that. A smaller model may not be as capable to perform this action. It pretty much, let's say a 4 billion parameter model probably won't be able to do this on its own without a bunch of instructions. And so one of the things about building agents that I learned is I save all my inputs, my tool calls, and my outputs. I save all of that. And the reason why is because if you're, let's say, in an organization and you care about your IP, or you're trying to optimize on costs, or you have some type of governance where you can't use a public provided large language model and it has to be internal or air gapped, right? What you would do is use the large language model in the dev environment, save all those inputs and outputs, the tool calls, everything, take that data, and then you fine tune a smaller model so it knows what actions to take when your users invoke that agent. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like using Perplexity to write a prompt for Gemini.
Kind of like that, but no, in all reality, if you look at some of the papers that Anthropic just put out about how this may be a touchy subject, but it's public anyway. Anthropic put out some papers about how other open models from other places are spinning up, I think, millions of workers that goes out and invokes their models.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saving those prompts and outputs, and then they're using it to train their models, right? So that's one of the reasons I do that. But
You're talking about the distilling thing that's been going on, right?
distilling, yes.
Yeah.
Where you have the teacher model and then the student model.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm sharing my screen again. Before we move on, one more thing I want to talk about is just the guardrails when you're building agents, because this is extremely important. I mentioned you give an agent the shell, but if you give it a shell and it has access to your system and you allow it to, what is it, Ralph Wiggum? I don't know if you heard that term, Ralph Wiggum, and you saw Clyde just being able to run autonomously. Have you seen that?
No, what is that?
All right,
I know Ralph Wiggum
from the Simpsons.
Yeah.
From
My
the
mom
system.
says I'm special.
All right, I actually wrote not too long ago. So using Clyde, what you could actually do is have a prompt MD. This is Clyde code. You have a prompt MD where you give it basically a detailed spec of what you want it to build, right? I have this build shell that I kick off. From there, it loops Clyde code until the app is fully built. I don't have to do anything. And so this shell looks like this. It's just a while statement, right? I give it the amount of runs that I want it to do. Here, I tell it to run 10 times. So it's going to run through 10 times that prompt. And there's phases all through there. It's going to go through all the phases until it completes. And here's the key. I'm passing in the prompt to Clyde, and I'm telling it to live dangerously. Right? That's the key. It's just a while loop that tells Clyde to just live dangerously. I don't have to give you any approvals. Just do what you need to do to build the thing. And the cool thing about this, the cool thing about this is that I don't know if you heard of Playwright. Have you heard of Playwright?
No, what's that?
Okay, so let me see. Let me go to my strands pack and we'll just do a quick demo real quick. Do I have a Playwright skill?
I saw one just a second ago. You scrolled over it.
There's a photo up here for Playwright, but I thought I had a Playwright.
Yeah, there it is.
All right, so I have a Playwright agent here, right? And I'm just going to tell it to, let's see if I can remember how to run it. I'm going to say open the browser and go to ESPN.com or something. Do people still use ESPN? That used to be like a big thing. That shows my age, probably. All right, so we'll go to examples and we'll go Python. If I can type, let me make this a little bigger so you all can see it. There we go. And let's move that over. And let's make it one more size. All right, so we'll go Python. And we'll go Playwright. And let's see what I got to tell the agent to do. Let's just open it. Okay. I got examples right here in the thing. So next, get text from Y Combinator is an example. And I built all these tools. These are all my custom tools. So you'll see Playwright browser. I'm encountering a browser issue. Let me try headless. So it's trying headless. Let's make sure everything's installed. If it doesn't work, we'll open Cloud Code because I have it there too. Pip install -r requirements strands pack. Everything should be installed. All right, let's try this again. Do something. Yeah, wiki. Let's see if it opens my browser. Playwright needs to be installed. Okay, how do I install it? I actually have instructions here, so. Oh, look at that. The agent is telling me how to do it. I wonder, can it do it? Does it have an editor in shell?
Oh yeah, I used Playwright. What was I doing? I was doing Claude in the browser, trying and messing around with the LinkedIn MCP. Anyways,
yeah. So you've used it.
Playwright, yeah, and I think I asked Claude how to install it too.
Yeah, so I'm installing it now. Normally there's an MCP server for it, but I built my own tool so it could be kind of slimmed down, right? Because one of the things about using like an MCP server is that it comes with a lot of context. If you don't filter out the tools and you load this into your agent, now it's actually going to be a more expensive. It could be a less optimized agent because now the context window is larger, right? All right, so we'll go back into the agent. We'll run it and we'll say, we'll just copy this, get text from Y Combinator, and where to do it.
Oh,
there it is.
The share die?
Yeah, it died. Hold on.
That wasn't me that time. I don't know why it keeps dying. We should ask Claude.
We should ask Claude. Yes. I think it's because I'm using this browser.
Something. I don't want to say it's your fault, Duan.
Hey,
problem exists.
My agent is shy. He's like, hey, I don't want you to know what I'm doing. Let's do this. Let's go to Cloud because I use it in Cloud. Go to my website. .com. Use Playwright MCP. So it's going to think. It's going to look up the tool. And as you can see, it's using Playwright, the MCP, and it opened in another browser, but I'm going to pull it up here. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, go to my events. And so I'm going to move my mouse. My hands are here.
Mm-hmm.
What should happen is if we look at Cloud, Cloud is going to ask for approval. I give it approval, and you see it changed to my events. And so when you're using, to get back to my point, when you're using this Cloud to build out a front end, or you're using an agent to build out a front end, you can use tools like Playwright, or going to back to AWS. We have Agent Core, where you have all these different agentic services, agents, and we actually have a browser that is in Agent Core. So this browser tool, you can plug it into your agents, and what happens is, rather than using Playwright, you use the Agent Core browser, and you can actually play back everything the agent did in those sessions. right? So now you can see all the actions the agent took. But what I normally do is just have it do a headless, meaning that don't even open the browser. You can do it in the background, figure out what you need to do, solve the problem.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that actually answers Kunal's question. Is there a way for us humans to observe what's happening and see if it is calling the right tools?
Yes. So if you look at my agent here, and let's see, let's go to my template, and we'll run my agent here. There's a couple ways to see what's actually happening. So of course, the first, and I get where Kunal is going. Kunal is going to talk about observability, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we go to Agent Core, or if we go to any agent, you deploy into the runtime, right? So let's say you're using Strands agents, or you're using LangGraph or Crew AI. You can use OTel, right? And then OTel Open Telemetry. So all that telemetry data goes into Agent Core observability, but you can use Datadog or some other observability service to be able to observe all of the traces. Like you have one session, inside of a session, you have a trace, and inside of a trace, you have a span. The span is each steps that happen within that, I would say, in that term, right? Did the agent invoke a model? Did the agent make a tool call? Like everything that happened, you can observe all of that, which is cool, because now you can see, all right, what parameters were passed in, what outputs were received, what was the latency between each of those traces or in between those spans. And now when you're troubleshooting your agents to see why is this taking so long, or what tools being called, observability gives you that ability.
Nice.
But going back to my agent that I was about to pull up, there's something called hooks when you're building the agent. Let me see if I have one here. Let me see if I have any hooks available. Yeah, I should have hooks. Do I have my hooks? I should have a simple agent for MCP docs. Okay. Do I have my hooks? Yes, so I have hooks. So let's run this one. So we'll go ahead and make sure we are in my virtual environment. I always use a virtual environment in Python just because it can get really hairy really quick if you don't, because of all of the different dependencies. That allows me to separate dependencies between my different repos and projects that I have. So if you're using Python, use a virtual environment. I know a lot of people use UV these days. I'm old school, so I use VNV, but you can use whatever. Just make sure you use a virtual environment.
I've been trying to use UV a little bit more, but I'm the same way. I like VNV. It's muscle memory at this point.
I didn't know there was another option.
Yeah, UV's fast though. Like if
UV's sick. UV is it's. I mean, if you are just starting out now, getting into it, use UV.
So I don't have to do the activate every time like you do with VNV. Does it like go automatically into it?
So I use Cursor. Like this is Cursor you're looking at, right? When I open up a new terminal in Cursor, it automatically goes into my virtual environment.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, PyCharm does the same thing. It's nice.
Yeah.
I think that's just VS Code, y'all, but
it's a fork. It is a fork, but it's a little different. Let me see. All right. Wait for this to come back up, and then we're going to go through just a quick example real quick before we hop into some more complicated cool stuff. But here I have an agent, and this is just an agent that reads in the AWS docs, right? And it has an MCP server connected to it. You all know what MCP is, Model Context Protocol?
You talked about it in your last episode, so everybody better know.
Yeah, everybody better know. For those that don't know, just real briefly, I'll pull it up and see if I don't have a slide here, but I will go to an MCP server I have. So I have a couple MCP servers that I built and published. One is a NBA stats MCP server, right? We talked about agents having tools. I built Strands Pack so I could have a Python published library of different tools that I always use. There's about 53 tools in here. So if you want to build CloudBot, this is everything you need. It gives you the ability to connect to Gemini models for video, images, resize videos and edit videos with FFmpeg, connect to AWS, connect to Google Workspace, whatever you need to connect to, whether it's Discord, whatever, the tools are here for your agents. This is the library. You install these, it works. The thing is, when it comes to MCP, let's say I have this NBA MCP server. This server has several different tools that all work together. It has 30 different tools, right? Now, I could use a library in Python and package this up and everybody just install it, or I could just have people connect to this MCP server via HTTP, right? And so now all of my users get the same experience when they're using this MCP server. So what MCP does, it allows you to standardize and package up tools and distribute them widely and centralize the management of those tools, right? So this NBA MCP server, I'll show you a demo of it later, but basically what it does is it queries all the APIs for the NBA and gives you everything you need to know about the NBA, whether it's current stats, live stats, historical stats, and it allows the agent to analyze, data from the NBA. Going back to this agent, so we can talk about it now. Kunal mentioned, how do you observe the tools that are being called? There's something when you design an agent, especially Strands, even Cloud Code, there's something called hooks. I talked about the event loop or the agent loop. When I talked about this agent loop, the question is, when the prompt comes in, that's the before invocation, when the agent needs to invoke the model, what if you want to do something to modify the prompt or see what happens in the prompt? How do you do that in this agent loop, right? Or let's say when the tools are being called, how do you determine if the right tool was called in the middle of this loop before the result gets back to the user, right? What if you want to stop or put some type of kill switch in between that? Like, how do you actually do that? And so one of the ways, or the way, there's probably another way, but the way that I'm going to discuss today is going to be something called hooks, right? Where in the event loop, you can take an action. And so when the agent is invoking, I have a hook here that I built that allows me, and we'll take a look at the actual hook itself, that allows me to register the hooks with a before invocation event and a before tool invocation event. And so now, before the tool is being invoked, I can see, okay, what's the agent's name that's doing it, and what tool is being called, and what parameters is the agent passing in to that tool. And I can see all that real time. You follow me?
Yep. Yeah.
So if you're trying to observe your agents, there's a lot of features within these frameworks that are built in that'll help you be able to optimize how your agents perform and understand them a lot better. Because I could even go in and change the model in between this, right? Let's say a particular tool gets called, and rather than invoking Sonnet 4.5, maybe I want to invoke Haiku, because the action that needs to be taken could be a lot cheaper and more and faster, like more efficient, the performance wise, is if I use a smaller model. So a hook will allow me to modify the agent itself during runtime.
Awesome.
All right, I've been talking a lot of theory. I'm going to run this real quick and then we'll hop in. Like I said, I can talk about this stuff all day, but let's see. I'm going to show you a couple of demos of things I built, and then we'll go from there. All right, so inside of here, I'm going to say How do you configure a EC2 instance? And so now we see the agent thinking, and here we see, okay, the agent needs to search the docs.
Oh.
I need to build an agent to keep pushing that button.
It's not us. It's
Okay,
our
so
screen provider.
just so we know, what button is it that you're pushing so that I can give feedback to Restream.
So it's the share screen. It just goes away, right?
Really? Okay.
So I'll like it's lit up now. My screen is being shared. Eventually, it just go gray and everything flips, and it's all four of us.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. I've been chatting with the Restream folks, and I will give them that feedback. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Oh, no problem. So here we see the agent thinking about what needs to happen, and then it says, "Okay, I need to search the strands documentation docs first." It makes a tool call of search docs. Right? We see that there's one invocation. The parameters is the query that's being passed in. So I can see exactly what the agent passed in to that tool call, right? And I can log this outside of the I can log this somewhere as well. But go ahead.
No, I was saying, sorry.
Okay, and this keeps going on and on. And so what we're doing is we're logging, and we can see all the steps before the agent actually generates a response, and that's what it's doing now on telling us how to configure, right? And the loop keeps going because I can say, what did I ask? And so what happens within that event loop or that agent loop, it actually stores the context. So every time that I invoke it, the previous prompt and output gets re-invoked. All of that is managed within that agent loop. So I don't have to manage the context myself, right? And it says, okay, how do you configure an EC2 instance? So the agent remember what I asked before previously, right? All right, so we're going to do a couple things. We're going to hop into my browser and look at some stuff I done built. Let's see. So we'll start here. I have what you call a content pipeline that I've built. And this pipeline, I think I showed it before, but I've made some progress on it. And I was like, you know what? Let me hop in and show what this agent does, because for me, I actually think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to start this agent. And this is actually a collection of agents. So we're inside of this content pipeline. I'm going to refresh. And here's the content pipeline. And I need to log in. I don't know my login. It updated. Since I updated, okay. So this is running local. And let's see if I can log in correctly. All right, so we're in. The thing about this is that it looks like a normal application, but the way I built it is every time I run an agent, I want to know, okay, how many times did I run that agent? How much did it cost, right? For each tool call, and this is observability. So I've run this 14 times. I've generated 9,000 tokens, and this is how much this app has cost me, right?
I'm sorry, is that $5 or 5,000? I can't tell if that's
$5.
Okay.
That was going to be my question. I was like, hey,
I need to be rounding to the 1,000 cent. I need to know all my pennies, all my coins. You know, pennies aren't here anymore. I need to know everything. So,
yeah.
But so this is what, when you're building these type of applications, this is what people don't think about, because I run this 14 times and it cost me $5. Now, let's say I want to productize this app and I want to do a $10 a month subscription. And a person use it every day. I'm running 14 times a day. My users come in and they use it 14 times every day. They're paying a $10 a month subscription.
You're
What do
losing
you think
money.
will happen?
You're losing money.
You're Sam Altman.
Right. And so when we think about what happens to a lot of these startups is that they build these apps, they're great, amazing ideas, but they don't have this type of observability. You know, how are they determining the cost? And so you as an AI engineer or somebody that is developing these applications, what you have to think about is, okay, what models are we using? Can we use a smaller model? How do we evaluate to see, okay, where can I save on cost? Maybe I can use a local model for the research or for different points in this task, right? Or be able to cache some of these outputs that are being generated. So that way, when a user asks again, it's getting a cache response rather than actually invoking the model.
Right. Are you switching models like in your content package? Are you using multiple models and it's figuring out how much the tokens are costing per model, or is it using one setup?
I'll show you. So we're going to do a test video. We'll add that. We'll do developers. We'll do AI. We'll use a reference thumbnail.
We lost your screen again.
I hit my daily Claude limit pretty regularly on their 20. Oh, that's you, Damien.
It is me. It is me. Yeah. Yeah. So we were talking about, like profitability, right? Like I pay $20 a month for Claude and I max out my daily limit pretty often. Just by asking big context questions, look at all these documents, do some sort of analysis, right? So yeah, I can imagine that.
So
yeah,
I'm glad you brought that up because what we'll do is we'll talk about ways around this on your local computer. So after this, we'll talk about running a local agent and what that looks like. That sound good?
Nice.
All right. So I'm going to say, okay, use my image to generate a Mr. Beast like thumbnail. And I'll zoom in so everybody can see it. Right. And I'll close the cost so we all can see this. So I added a video. This is local. I can also do a YouTube URL or a transcript. I selected the provider as Gemini. I want to use Gemini for this. I gave it a description on what I wanted to do. I gave it my image to use as a reference. Now I could have it generate different content formats like sizes and variants so they fit the particular social media. I could skip agents, but I'm going to use all my agents. We're going to put all of them to work and we're going to kick this off. So the first thing we're going to do is we have a research agent that goes through and transcribes the video that I just uploaded, and it's going to research everything about the agent. After that happens, the agent is going to pass it to another agent that analyzes and does copy for YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and maybe that's it. Maybe there's
holy mackerel.
Yeah, it's going to make copies. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were kind of showing us kind of a programmatic way of managing agents in one of your previous shows that you did with us.
Yeah, his book writing agent.
Yeah. What is the benefit of breaking it up into smaller agents as opposed to a big prompt? Is it just like token usage or context window, or what's the benefit there?
All right, so the research agent, right? This is going to be the whisper model or transcribe. So this is one agent that's handling just that action. When you design, let's say you design an application, right? You can do a monolith where everything lives on that server. All applications are kind of tightly coupled. But how do different teams manage different components of that application in a monolith? It's kind of hard, right? And so, but if you do a microservice, now you have all of these individually dependent piece components or services within that application that could go to multiple applications, right? So when I'm designing as well as it may even function faster, and if one service goes down, it doesn't break the whole system. And so when you are thinking about agents, context for different actions in the same window can confuse an agent and it can perform worse, right? But if you have it highly focused, just like us, right? This is what I want you to do. This is your role, clearly defined. Go take that action. It's going to perform better from my experience, from my own evaluations. And so what I've done is I have my research agent, I have my copy agent, and I have my thumbnail agent. These are often different models. These different models have different capabilities, right? This thumbnail agent, I selected the Gemini Nano Banana. I don't know if you've seen Nano Banana, but it does great images, right?
Yeah.
So I got an agent specifically for that, right?
Wasn't that Damien's college nickname? Oh, never mind. Sorry. So,
You know what? I got it. That was amazing, Chris.
thank you.
Love it.
Thank you. Yeah.
No shade, man. I love that.
So this is taking some time to do what it's doing, because right now, right, it's done the research on the video, transcribed it, it's done all the copy for that I can use for social media. It's went through, it's created thumbnails, it's created 3 different thumbnails that I can pick from. And now what it's doing is taking the clips from the video, the best clips, and it's creating short form content from that, right? Now, this component, we'll see how it turns out. I'm still working on it, but we'll see, because and we'll talk about once we get there. And then I got visual assets that I can post on like Instagram. And then I have the agent go through and evaluate itself, right? How good are you actually at your job, right? Let's rate and evaluate. And so all while we're doing this, we're tracking the costs, right? We're storing the runs, whether completed, whether it's successful. Like, we're tracking all of this so we can understand, okay, this failed. Why did it fail? So I can go back into the logs. I can look at the observability, see actually what happened, and then I can kick off my agent to enable the screen again, right?
Smooth. It didn't like it. No.
Oh, wow.
So the next time when you come on, you're gonna have a new agent, and it's gonna take care of the screen sharing.
It's definitely going to take care of the screen sharing. I'm going to have an agent that's in the browser and say, once this light goes off, I need you to click this and this.
So I did notice that your cost did not increase. Is that because you hadn't refreshed the page?
The job's not done yet.
Oh, okay. So it's not like a running cost. It's like a total cost.
There you go, right there. So this is done.
50 cents.
100,000 tokens, 25 artifacts. Here are all the artifacts, right, that it generated. If I need to rerun any of them, if I don't like them, I can rerun them. Now let's look at the artifacts. Here's the copy. So here's the YouTube copy, right? So these are the title suggestions. It's telling me about the titles, right? Each title, 57 characters, 54 characters, primary keywords, right? It's breaking down the titles. Here's my SEO for the description. The timestamps from the video, why build an MCP server, what to watch for, the resources and links. Is getting that from the video, like all of this data, and is loading it in. This is why I have one agent, because the agent is putting in a lot of work. Like, I got my workers working, you know what I mean? And then for LinkedIn, it's going through, same thing. It's telling us about the post. Okay, here's the hook, here's the full post.
This is amazing.
Here's the
Yeah,
hashtag.
this is multiple AI companies. Like, this is easily like $100 a month subscription, right? To like Opus AI and a bunch of other things. Like, this is
We're not done. We're not done.
Oh wait, there's more.
Yes. So the Twitter, right? The Twitter goes through, and I have the popular thing on Twitter is threads. And so now it's taking that video and it's creating entire threads, right?
Duan just ShamWowed us, but wait, there's more. Dude, I would legit pay money for this. Are you kidding me? This is awesome.
1,000.
And lastly is the blog. So we got a blog draft, right, that we can publish and all that good stuff. So we're going to keep going. Here's the thumbnails.
Not bad.
Does the thumbnail generator know like it's like the face, like the face that you're making in there? Does it know that YouTube likes that kind of thumbnail? Did it go out and like
So
figure that out or what?
here's what. So if you look at the beginning, I gave it my image. That's me,
Yep.
and I said generate an image like Mr. Beast.
That part.
Oh, that's
That
right.
part.
And he always makes that face.
Right?
Gotcha.
And so it went out and it generated the images like Mr. Beast. Now,
Like you just got a bunch of ice dumped down the back of your pants.
right. And so now I went through and generated some short form clips that I can use. The problem that I'm working with now is just getting this to format correctly and position correctly on, on the vertical videos. But it's identified the top clips from the video and created all the shorts. Visuals that we can post on social media, right? Even a code sample, right? I have a tool to be able to use carbon.sh. I don't know if you use that, but if you're doing presentations or demos, you should use carbon.sh because it's going to make your code look great. Look like it just came from your Mac and you don't have to worry about doing any screenshots. So I have a tool for that to do that for me when I do posts.
Nice.
And so finally it goes through, rates everything, right? It says, okay, I was about an 8.2 on the YouTube, and it tells me why, what can be improved. So I can go through manually improve these myself. But I built a chat to go through, copy this in and tell it to regenerate. So now the agent can self-improve, right?
Does it remember?
Yes, it has memory built in. It has memory built in. And here's the cost that you wanted to know for each run. It's broken down.
So images are
The
expensive.
thumbnail.
as we
Yeah.
knew. Yeah.
Yes, visual assets are expensive. And so now it adds it to my all my runs. And if we go back up here to cost, now we are at 1 million tokens.
For $5? That's bonkers.
Yeah, so
It's such a time saver.
I'm using Haiku as the model for all of my copy. I was using Sonnet 4.5. Haiku is a lot more cost efficient, right? So I'm using Haiku 4.5, and that's the model that's generating all of this.
But still, as you're reviewing it, the quality is still there, even though you went from Sonnet to Haiku.
The quality is still there. The quality, it's hard to describe because how can I I'm not really judging in this format. To me, this isn't intelligence, right? Being able to write well is more so like a capability of the model, but I'm not having it trying to figure out math. I'm not having it trying to figure out.
Okay.
You get what I mean? So
yeah.
For the action that I'm taking, like this is good, right? This is good enough. And because if I'm honest, if I'm doing any type of writing, I'm probably going to go through and change it myself. I just need some ideas, for this. But this gets me, I would say, 80% of the way with this. But what I will say, for example, just looking at this, Haiku doesn't has as a natural looking writing style. It's kind of short and punchy in like the LinkedIn post, even the Twitter. Sonnet would be more wordy and a little different. Also, one thing I need to add in here is I built a readability MCP server. In my readability MCP server, and I'll pull that up real quick too, because and this is published on Popeye, but with this readability MCP server, what it allows me to do is have the agent send this to like traditional AI. So on the back end, I could run this through an AI system that's traditional AI, is not generative AI, that does Flesh Kincaid. It does AI detection for the M dash. So it's going to find all the M dashes and say, hey, this looks AI written, send it back to the model with a score an analysis, and then the agent will go through and make the changes. So that's going to improve the writing period to make it more natural, right? So I use this in Cloud Code plugged into my Obsidian when I'm writing, right? If I wanted to review or make a draft or something, this is what I actually use.
And you know what? That reminds me, there's one thing that bugs me about AI, is the M dash, because me being a creative writer since forever, I always use M dashes, but now it's kind of like, oh, AI must have wrote that. It's like, oh.
I hear a lot of writers say that, like they're really mad about that. So I get
I love my M dashes.
I do too. I refuse to stop using it just because somebody's going to accuse me of being
Same.
an AI bot.
I never knew the key combination, so I'm just gonna, take a stand.
Key combination.
I never knew how to do it. I don't know if I knew there was a different type of dash, so I apologize. I never claimed to be a smart man.
David.
You ask AI how to do it, but I still can't figure it out. You're not alone, David.
All right. So unfortunately, we do kind of have to wrap up soon. You said you wanted to talk about running local models, but I think we're going to have to save it for another show because that sounds like an entirely. I definitely want to learn more about that. Yeah. But let's check the chat just to make sure that we've answered everybody's questions in there. There's been a lot of interaction, mostly Brian Chasko being very snarky about sports. Oh, Rob's in here too. Nice.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Yeah, a ton of AWS heroes in. Oh, Morgan Willis and Brooke Jameson are in here too. Wow.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
what's up, Brooke?
It's like a reunion.
Morgan?
Yay, team. Cool. Yeah, we're dude. I have my work cut out for me for the edit because now I have to find all of the links and recommendations once again. Every time you come on this show, there's like 17 links that I have to like scour the video for to make sure that I get everything properly. But this is a wealth of knowledge again. Can Duan post links to code repos? Yes.
Yes, I will. Where can I post them at?
I'll do it. I got it.
All right, thank you. And the copy pipeline is not live yet, but I will give you this one.
So how are you licensing that stuff, by the way, Duan?
Yeah, true.
Tell me, what's up?
I feel like what you've shown us is like a really cool startup, and maybe you don't want to just throw it out there.
Honestly, I haven't even thought about it. Just build, man. Like this ain't even the coolest thing I built. Like this is just.
All right, then.
Okay, so I'm going to be Duan's manager, and we're starting a business, is what I'm hearing. Charlotte will actually help us to turn all this into a money-making enterprise.
Yeah, man. I mean,
hey, y'all know me. I know how to make some money.
If you don't have babies that got to eat, you've at least got nieces and nephews, man. Like you got to think about them.
Man.
It's all about that generational wealth, like for me personally.
Yeah.
No,
this was awesome as always.
Yes, thank you, Duan.
Yes, thank you so much. So we've got the lab NBA MCP server link, the Strands Pack link, and the WriteStat MCP link. Were those the three that you wanted up there?
One more. I got to make this public. I'm gonna do it now. So, I'm going to give you this one, and I'm about to make it public now.
Holy mackerel.
And that's the actual agent. So this is the one I was going to show at the end. This is my bookmark. I'm building like a second brain. And so what I started, and actually you can go to this publicly now, just so you can actually see what I'm building. If you go to this, and now if I have a quick second, I'll just show you what I'm logging in.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm building a second brain. And the way that I'm doing that is that I'm taking all of my agents and I'm connecting them. And I'm connecting them to my GitHub. I'm connecting them to my Gmail and connecting them to everything. It started with this bookmarks because I'm always trying to organize and keep all my bookmarks together.
Mhm.
So what I've done is put like all the white papers and stuff that I'm learning and everything, and I have an agent that keeps me like strategically organized. So it goes through, tags them, labels them. But the cool thing about it is I have different lists that I create on what I'm learning. So one of the things that I'm focused on now is local models, like
Yeah.
understanding LLM inference, right?
Mhm.
So I built a list for that. And as I go through and read these papers, I just tell the agent to mark this as red, mark that as red, right? And so once I'm done, the list is done. But then I can say, okay, write a detailed notes based off of this. And what happens is it'll create an outline with the detailed notes right in this window, and I can go in and edit it. And then once I edit it, I say, okay, save this to my Google Docs. Boom, it goes through and saves it. Or what I'm building next is a pipeline to say, okay, I'm going to modify this and now publish it to my blog.
That's crazy.
You know what? Here's an idea.
Yeah.
2 things. So for y'all, I would be surprised if you're not already, but you are like one of the folks that I follow on GitHub. And like when you first pull up your GitHub and it's just like it'll show like the activity of what that person's working on. I'm always like, what's he working on now? Right? Like I always be like looking to see. But but you know what I
Go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of hard to understand what I'm working on, because like if you don't really know, like you're not gonna
Yeah.
believe it until you see it sometimes,
Yeah, you know what I need though? I need something that goes into my cloud storage and properly organizes old files for me when I wasn't organizing properly, and something to go into my Gmail and like clean up old emails that
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
need anymore.
So
Yeah, that lease PDF on my Dropbox from 15 years ago, I'm good. We can delete that.
Know what I mean? All the sales ads, like
so there's a couple things. Like I built the strands pack that I shared. You can actually use that to build an agent to do it. Or if you use something like Cloud Code, a lot of like Dropbox or Box or whatever you're trying
yeah.
to get to, Gmail, they have MCP servers. And so you could take that MCP server, give it to Cloud Code and say, hey, go into my box. And then what I want you to do is tell me the oldest files that I have. It'll give you a list. These are the old files. Okay, all of these files here, just highlight them, paste them back in and say, hey, delete all these files.
Yeah, which there is something I did start it and I was gonna ping you about. So Gmail, I don't know if it's to everybody or what, but anyways, there's like this beta version of what is it, Gemini workflow or something, and it's inside of Gmail. And so you're actually able to
no.
create custom workflows. And I was testing it out to try to clean up my emails that way. It does work, but there are some ways, like some stuff I was trying to build in that was breaking it. But I was just like, oh Lord, they got AI in Gmail.
It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
go really
terrible.
well or really bad.
It's Google. It's gonna go badly, but it's
Just
gonna
a
be profitable.
inbox. Where'd all my emails go?
They're on the internet now.
Oh boy.
That part.
Yeah. We are over time, Chris.
We are. I hate to wrap it. Every time we have Duan on, it always turns into this like, oh, tell us more, tell us more. So we're gonna have to get you booked on again so that we can continue with the local models episode, the local models slice of this episode.
Yes,
Yep.
let's do it.
Cool. All right, everybody, thank you for coming on. Duan, thank you so much. As always, wonderful to have you on the show. Super appreciate you coming on and sharing your knowledge with us and with the community. Everybody in the chat was just popping off saying that this was an amazing episode. So as always, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah, and so folks, we will see you again next week. Have a great night. Bye.
Yes.
Okay.
Later.